yesterday. Votto comes in as the league's leading hitter, so the Reds are without some big-time production in their order. They do have Brandon Phillips back. He makes his second consecutive start. Willie Taveras, their everyday leadoff hitter, still bothered by a hamstring injury, so it's Chris Dickerson back in the leadoff spot today. He had a big game yesterday. Made one of the best catches we've seen all year on Craig Counsell in deep right center last night.
Well, another guy with pretty good speed, but when you talk about that lineup for the Cincinnati Reds, as shorthanded as they are, this is probably one of the better catches that you're going to see out in center field. We've seen some good ones, but that one taking extra bases away from Counsell and cost the Brewers a run. That was a tremendous catch.
How about the body control to save himself an injury? You know, that was the kind of play that Rick Ankiel had in the opposite gap, that he crashed into the wall, but Dickerson showed his athleticism, and they were giving Counsell a hard time about that one last night. Got him. Good start for Gallardo. And Rock, you talked about his fastball command in his last start. That was a good heater that picks up his first strikeout.
Yeah, from time to time he struggled with his curveball, but that fastball right there on the inside corner, right at the knee, that's a tremendous pitch. He had that fastball right out of the gates in his last start against the Cardinals.
Hitters talk about Gallardo's fastball and the fact that it looks like an aspirin coming to the plate. He stays on such a good plane with it. You never see the bottom of the baseball with Gallardo, as Hairston cues one foul.
He just got such a nice, easy delivery, and the ball just explodes out of his hand. He hides it very well. He brings it from behind his back right at the last second. You don't see it all that soon, all that early, making it tough to pick up.
Jerry Hairston is swinging a good bat here in his last 7 games. He's been forced into the lineup. Kind of began the year in the Craig Counsell role, although Hairston can play the outfield as well. But with the injury to Brandon Phillips and Edwin Encarnacion on the disabled list, Hairston's found a lot of playing time here lately, and he has delivered. He's got 7 home runs this year, 16 runs batted in, and a .270 batting average to start play today. Chased one. Gallardo 2 up, 2 down on 2 strikeouts.
And that's what we're talking about with the fastball. Very important for Yo to be able to throw something else early in the count. These guys, they'll swing at the fastball even when it's out of the strike zone. Well, a first inning home run yesterday for Hairston. This time Giovanni able to get him on the high heater.
Two gone for Jay Bruce. Another big slugger in this Cincinnati order. And he has been quiet so far in this series, and the Brewers are hoping to keep it that way. Bruce 0 for 4 last night, 0 for 4 in the opener. Does have a home run against Gallardo in his career in his only at bat. Boy, Giovanni just pouring the strikes in.
And that was a tremendous curveball right there.
Only 1 ball so far. And a strike away from a 10-pitch first inning. Kendall sets up away. Just missed. Ball and 2 strikes on Jay Bruce. This is a matchup between 2 guys who are going to be around a long time, barring injury. 22-year-old Bruce and a 23-year-old Gallardo.
Yeah, these guys are going to face each other quite a bit if they stay with their respective ball clubs. The success that the Brewers had against Jay Bruce in the first 2 games of the series, mainly off-speed stuff, change-ups and curveballs. Pretty good fastball hitter.
Ready for the 2-2. Curveball. And he was able to check his swing. That was a nasty curveball from Gallardo. And a good take for Jay Bruce. That's a strikeout for most hitters in the league.
Well, and it's a sharp, quick curveball, too. Not one of those that rolls out of his hand from time to time early in the game.
Got him. How about Giovanni Gallardo? He strikes out the side to start the day. Dickerson, Hairston, and Bruce all gone. And now the Brewers will bat for the first. Then fielder Cameron and Matt Gamble. Gamble gets to start at third this afternoon. Corey Hart, Jason Kendall, and Giovanni Gallardo. Brewers with 3 lefties in their lineup against Micah Owings.
Well, the Piggly Wiggly scouting report, you got to start with the big bat for this guy. One of the better hitting pitchers maybe in the history of the game. A .296 hitter this year with 1 home run. Only 2 quality starts of his first 8 starts. He's got a sinker and a cutter. He'll throw a slider and a curveball.
Owings came to the Reds from the Arizona Diamondbacks a year ago. He was part of that Adam Dunn deal, and he did not pitch for Cincinnati last year. He primarily was a pinch hitter for the Reds at the end of the season last year after the trade was made, and then back on the mound and in the 5-man rotation this year. Counsell had another big night last night. 3 hits in 5 tries and is batting .381 on this current homestand. Counsell has 8 hits and 21 at-bats on the homestand.
Well, doing a nice job for Ken Mach at the top of the order, getting on base, working the count. That's what you get out of Counsell. He's not going to be an easy out up there. He's going to make you work. Be interesting to see what Maka does in Florida when the Brewers face some left-handed pitching.
Well, the Brewers will face a lefty tomorrow at Andrew Miller. So that might be the day Counsell takes a rest. That one sliced into left, and it's run down by Lance Nix. That ball hung in the air for a while.
Yes, it did.
Looked like a hit when it left his bat, but it's an out. And defensively for the Reds, Lance Nix, Chris Dickerson, and Jay Bruce in the outfield. All of them have very good arms. Hairston, Gonzalez, Phillips, and Hernandez around the horn, with Ryan Hannigan catching Micah Owings. A couple of things to keep your eye on today. Brandon Phillips still playing with that fractured right thumb, so he has struggled with throws here. He hasn't had a lot of throws and hasn't been tested a great deal defensively, but we saw him shaking his hand out a great deal yesterday while at the plate.
Well, a couple of times we saw him with balls up the middle. He knocked him down, but didn't even bother making the throw. I mean, that's the throw that's going to be tough on him. That turning that double play and that long throw over to first base.
Phillips fractured his right thumb, just a hairline fracture, fielding a ground ball last weekend against the Cleveland Indians, and just did get back to the starting lineup yesterday. J.J. Hardy back in the 2-hole today for Ken Maka. Hardy has a hit in the series, swung the bat pretty well despite just 1 for 9 against the Reds in this set. Matter of fact, yesterday I think JJ could have easily had 3 hits in the game and maybe even 4 on a well-placed ground ball that he hit sharply. So he's pleased with his at-bats right now, although the hits aren't coming just yet. Close pitch. Owings wanted the call from Jim Wolf.
Now JJ's been using the entire field, and that's why one of the reasons why his average is starting to climb up. Not by much. You can see Owings throws a little high 3/4, throws across his body just a bit.
And that one's down in the dirt. Hardy draws the walk, and the Brewers have a base runner for the big boppers coming up.
Yeah, tried to get him on a slider. A lot of times Owings is going to get underneath his pitches, doesn't stay on top, and everything flattens out. A lot of times his fastball is going to be up in the strike zone. Sliders kind of flatten out. That's what Dick Pohl is keeping an eye on today with Owings out on the mound.
Here's Ryan Braun with 1 away. And a Hardy at first. Braun homered last night. Ryan had 2 hits in the game. He was 2 for 5. 9-5 win yesterday for Milwaukee. Seth McClung picked up the victory. His second of the year. McClung went 3 scoreless innings. The bullpen finished the game scoreless as Braun delivered a big shot. That home run came in the 5th inning, and it brought the Brewers to within a run. And it started a 6-run, 7-hit inning for Milwaukee, the most hits in an inning all season, and it tied for the most runs in an inning for the season.
Well, Seth McClung, as you talked about, what a tremendous outing. He had a scoreless 5th inning. He got into trouble. But more importantly, after the Brewers put that 6th spot up and took the lead, McClung went perfect. 6 up, 6 down.
5 scoreless innings from the bullpen last night. McClung, Mitch Stetter, and Carlos Villanueva. Never letting the Reds off the deck once they had the lead. It was in stark contrast to the opener when the Brewers won 3-2 on just 3 hits back on Friday night. Last night, 9 runs on 16 hits for Milwaukee. Most hits they had posted since the 20-hit game they had against the Reds back in April.
I'm not sure if that's a changeup or a cut fastball he's taking something off of. That's only about 78 miles an hour. I mean, it looks like he's really slowing his arm motion down to throw that pitch. It fooled Ryan that time. Kind of a very funny pitch.
And you know, between pitches, Owings kind of making that, you know, that move with his arm, trying to get some flexibility. You know that move, Rock, that you're just kind of trying to get it loose.
A little achy. That's a little bit cool down on the field. I mean, it kind of surprises you. You know, you wake up and you see the sun's out, not a whole lot of wind, and a little bit chilly down in the field. Maybe he's having a tough time loosening up. You never know.
Well, again, a 3-2 count. Braun's had good career numbers against Micah Owings. 5 hits and 9 at-bats versus Owings. Owings' last start was against the Astros back on Tuesday, and he went 5 innings in that game. Gave up 6 hits and 3 runs. No decision for Owings in that one. The Reds won that game, and they swept the Houston Astros. Matter of fact, when Cincinnati showed up Friday, they had won 4 straight, their longest winning streak of the season. 3-2. Hardy takes off, and Braun shoots one to the right side. And Hardy is going to test the arm of Bruce. Throw is cut off, and the Brewers have runners at the corners with just 1 out.
I don't think there's anything prettier in baseball than a good hit and run. It was a 3-2 count, more of a run and hit, trying to stay out of the double play. Brandon Phillips covering second with JJ taking off. A big hole over there, and Ryan able to find one and put it in the right field. That's a nice play. Check it out. Look at the big hole over there between first and second. Ryan Braun hits the ground ball in the right field. Picture perfect.
It's a beautiful at bat by Braun. And now the tables are set for Fielder. Check the Firestone leaderboard up above as we begin play today. Prince Fielder, #1 in the league in RBIs. 48 ribbies for Prince. And he hammers that one. Deep right field, fair or foul. That one is a foul ball. Just got out in front of it. Prince hooks over one. That's normally a ball he can keep fair. That's one of the things that makes him such a great slugger.
Well, back-to-back days he's been able to homer in his first at bat. And just narrowly missing another one.
Fielder hit a 3-run homer in the first inning yesterday. Had a 2-run home run in the first inning on Friday.
And that foul ball that he hit was on that funky changeup or whatever you want to call it. We got to figure out what that pitch is. It looks to me as though he's giving it away in his delivery when he throws it. Not a very good pitch.
Brewers threatening here in the first. 2 on, 1 out. And Fielder gets under one. Nick's coming in. And he'll make the catch. No chance for Hardy to score on that fly ball. 2 outs. That's a big out for Owings.
But that was a very good pitch. Got in on the hands of Prince that time, and Prince not able to get the barrel of the bat on it. Owings doesn't throw hard. I mean, right now he's topping out at about 88, 89 miles an hour, but he placed that one pretty well. Actually didn't, did he? Hannigan wanted it inside. It looked like it jammed Prince. Prince thought that was going to find the outfield grass. It didn't.
So 2 outs, and here is Mike Cameron. Cameron was into the act last night. The Brewers have found their home run stroke the last 2 days. Hit 3 last night. Fielder, Braun, and Cameron all went deep. Braun and Cameron homered in that big 5th inning. And the Brew Crew with a couple of home runs on Friday night. Milwaukee hadn't hit a home run until Friday on this homestand. They went homerless in the Cardinals series. Dropped that series to the Cardinals 2 out of 3, but have already secured a series win here against the Reds. They're going for the sweep this afternoon. Cameron lines one. That is going to get down. A base hit. And Milwaukee on top. Mike Cameron drives in his 25th run. An RBI single and a 2-out RBI single at that. And it's 1-0 Brewers.
Yeah, did a nice job hanging in there on that off-speed pitch. Owings dropped down a little bit on it. Cameron stayed right in there and is able to bang it into left field. Missing his spots badly so far today. Hannigan had to reach for that one again. Wanted it away from Cameron, left it right down the middle of the plate.
So Cameron continues to put up big numbers this year. And a 2-out RBI hit that puts Milwaukee on top. And it gives Matt Gamble a chance with a couple of men on base. The 1-out walk comes in to score. J.J. Hardy. Well, Matt Gamble's going to get his shots here on the road trip. He and Billy Hall will be sharing time at third base. And Gamble gets jammed, but serves one to the left. A base hit. Here comes Braun, and he'll score. Cameron belly flops into third base. He's safe. How about that base running by Cameron and Gamble behind him?
Yeah, a bit of a risk by Mike Cameron. I was watching Ryan Braun scoring at home plate to see if he was going to get there before the play was made at third. It was going to be close, but it appeared as though Hairston dropped the baseball. Well, a little jam shot just out of the reach of Gonzalez. The play at third base very close, and I think Ryan Braun beat it. He got there first. You never want to make the third out at third base. You could see Hairston never really had the baseball.
Yeah, and you could tell by that shot how close it was. That's why you always have to run through home plate, even when you think you're going to score easily in that scenario. And Braun did. And it's 2-0 Brewers. And now second and third with 2 outs. Matt Gamble snapping an 0 for 16 at the plate with that RBI base hit.
And nothing wrong with getting jammed. There's a lot more hits on the handle of the bat than there are on the end of the bat. And Gamble rewarded, able to fight one off in the left field.
And now Corey Hart can do some damage here with 2 outs. 2 runs in with 2 outs for the Brewers. And Corey Hart even hit a ball and a strike. Hart with 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. Had one of his best games of the year last night. Had 3 hits. He was hit by a pitch. He was on base 4 times. And he scored a run. And Ken Maka hoping a sign of things to come for Corey Hart, who has been scuffling in the month of May. But what's interesting about Hart's month, Rock, we pointed this out yesterday, he's had some huge hits this month.
He's had hits in 3 different games, and 2 of them on the last road trip that really were the difference makers in ball games. St. Louis, Houston. Hit the big home run here a couple of nights ago.
His home run against the Reds Friday night was in the 7th inning and was the game winner. Hart gets under this one. Easy play for Dickerson, and the side retired, but the Brewers a good start today. 2 runs in, 2-0 Milwaukee. And our Taco Bell Who's Hot, the bullpen, that's who. Last 18 games, check the numbers. A 1.51 earned run average. Of course, Trevor Hoffman a big part of that, but leading up to Trevor Hoffman, bullpen has been very good. Rock, you had a great point earlier today on Brewers Live about the bullpen and how much flexibility it gives Ken Maka in so many different situations late in a ball game.
Yeah, when you don't have to worry about the 9th inning. The 9th inning is pretty much of a deadlock. At least it has been. You know that there's a pretty good chance that Trevor's going to struggle from time to time this year, but when you don't have to worry about ending the ball game with a closer, you can use just about everybody in your bullpen. He didn't have that luxury when Trevor was on the disabled list.
You mean Trevor is actually going to give up a run this year? Is that what you're saying?
I would think so. At some point.
Man, that's disappointing.
I'm not trying to jinx him, but you know, pretty good chance that he's not going to be perfect all season.
Brandon Phillips leads off for the Reds. Gallardo struck out the side to start the game. And facing Phillips here with that fractured thumb. His home run yesterday came on a curveball from Dave Bush. And then the Brewers came at him with fastballs. That one gets away from Gallardo.
Well, Trying to come up and in, knowing that with that bad thumb, Phillips has had a tough time with the fastball. Hit a home run yesterday on a curveball from Bush.
Well, nothing wrong with Phillips' legs for sure, and he's always a threat to run. Gallardo does a good job holding runners on. He gives Kendall a shot to throw some runners out. See how aggressive the Reds will be down early here this afternoon.
Well, you know you have a guy out there in the mound that has the potential to really make things tough for you offensively. A lot of times you want to maybe get something going on the bases. You got a guy out there that can steal, get the infield moving around, maybe open up a hole.
Phillips has 4 stolen bases this year. Been caught 3 times. Gallardo has Lance Nix, his former teammate down in Nashville. Down to the count, no balls, 2 strikes. And there goes Phillips. Kendall couldn't find the baseball. And that'll have to be a wild pitch on Gallardo to allow Phillips to second base.
That ball in the dirt, Jason was able to get a piece of it, but kind of trickled through his legs. Couldn't find it. That's one of the problems you have when you have that mask on. Your visibility a bit limited. Not able to find it, and good base running, good heads up base running by Phillips.
Lance Nix with 4 homers this year. He's driven in 10. Done most of his damage as a pinch hitter. Has a home run and 3 RBIs as a pinch hitter this year. Matter of fact, he swung the bat so well coming off the bench for Dusty Baker. He basically played his way into the starting lineup. And he has started in all 3 games in this series. And he goes. He chased after the breaking ball. Lance Nix is retired, and all of the outs so far today have come on strikeouts. That's number 4 for Gallardo.
Well, 2 fastballs for strikeouts to start the game. The last 2 have come on curveballs. One to Jay Bruce, and this one to Lance Nix. And it's good to see that Giovanni has pretty good command of that curveball today, throwing it for strikes when he needs to, and bouncing it with 2 strikes. Not making mistakes with it.
One out with Phillips at second base. And the Reds' first baseman, Ramon Hernandez, who came to Cincinnati to catch every day. But with Joey Votto on the disabled list, Hernandez the only option over at first base for Dusty Baker. Hernandez has handled his own out there at first base. I've been impressed with his defense. I mean, he's not a Gold Glove first baseman, but he makes all the plays.
Made a couple of nice plays over there yesterday. Showing some pretty good range.
And he can do the splits over there, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Old school. Doing the splits on a throw, that's not the issue. It's getting up from the splits.
Right.
And he seems to be able to get up every time.
Just the ability to get up after doing the splits. That's the amazing thing.
You just don't see many first basemen do the splits any longer. Hernandez has done that a couple of times. They were back in Cincinnati, that last series the Brewers had in the Queen City. Hernandez played for Maka. He was Maka's catcher back in '03. First year with Cincinnati this year. And part of the new group, Dusty Baker was commenting on bringing good character guys that play every day and low maintenance in the clubhouse. The new culture that he is trying to develop here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, the teams that he had before the Reds were certainly low maintenance in the clubhouse. The Giants.
Oh, yeah.
With Barry Bonds.
No question. As low maintenance as it gets. And, those Cubs, boy, they're just as accommodating as possible.
Sammy. Yeah.
Three-time manager of the year, Dusty Baker. Good cut by Hernandez. Gallardo back in the count 3-2.
It's got to be a nice feeling for Dusty Baker not to have to deal with those issues and those attitudes and some of the baggage that goes with some of those superstars that he had to deal with before, and a lot less to deal with on a daily basis with respect to that. He could pretty much stick to baseball.
Gallardo walks Hernandez. So a hit batter and a walk in this inning. 2 on with 1 out. Well, our U.S. Cellular text to vote question today: which has been the more pleasant surprise for you? You meaning the audience, not you, Rock. You can chime in if you want. Text W for starting pitching, X for the bullpen. The more pleasant surprise. Text your answer to short code 234234, courtesy of U.S. Cellular.
Are we supposed to comment on those or just kind of leave them alone for a while?
It's up to you. How you feeling today? You feel like influencing a decision?
I always do.
Which way would you go, Rock?
I think the bullpen is more of a pleasant surprise because I think you had a little bit more, wild cards out there. You weren't sure what you're going to get out of DeFelice. Jorge Julio, McClung. You weren't even sure McClung was going to be in the bullpen when spring training began. Mitch Stetter's done a nice job. I think going into spring training, I was a lot more comfortable with the starting rotation than the bullpen, in all honesty.
And Jason Kendall said as much this spring. He thought the starting rotation underestimated. Look out. Gonzalez helicopters one into the seats. Everybody's okay. Might have even caught a piece of a Reds fan down there.
Off speed pitch, and normally that's when you lose the bat, when you're way out in front of either a changeup or a curveball. Looks like everybody's okay. A little bit more than you bargained for down in those nice seats.
Ball and a strike on Gonzalez. Inside, 2-1. Jason Kendall talking about the starting rotation back in April, and he was saying, first of all, it's a group of guys who take the ball every 5th day. You've got Gallardo, who can emerge as an ace, and Kendall's very praiseworthy on Giovanni Gallardo, talking about his Cy Young future. But with this offense, if you have a pitching staff, a starting rotation that can keep you in ball games and go 5-6 innings every time out, that's going to make the bullpen better, first of all, and it's going to allow an opportunity to come back in games, and the Brewers have fit that to a T. Kendall called it this spring training. He said, we stay in games, we're going to be able to come back. And the Brewers, one of the best teams coming back from deficits.
Yeah, a little bit offended by the so-called experts saying that the Brewers don't have much pitching. That has not been the case.
Gonzalez lines one to center, a base hit, and they will hold Phillips around third base. Cameron got to it quickly. So the run unable to score. Gonzalez caught a hanger and drilled it into center field, and the bases are loaded for the Reds.
Well, got one up in the strike zone, able to get on top. Hit too hard to score even Brandon Phillips. I think he had to freeze just a second. Wasn't sure if Cameron was going to be able to make the play. Hit that one very well.
A hit batter, a walk, and a single in this inning. First hit for the Reds. And it's Ryan Hanigan with the bases loaded and just one man out. Gallardo struck out the side in the first inning. Got a battle on his hands here in the second. Gets ahead of Hanigan. Hanigan was 1 for 3 yesterday. He drove in a run. Also had a walk and a run scored. He's been a tough out in this series.
Yeah, even when the Brewers have been able to get him out his last 2 times up in this series, he's had him He's made him work pretty hard to get the outs. Showed a good eye at the plate. Yo really needs a ground ball here. He needs to get that fastball down in the zone.
Bases loaded, one away. Hannigan, big cut and a miss. 1-2 on a breaking ball from Gallardo.
Got away with the hanger that time. That was a slider that stayed right down the middle of the plate, about belt high. Not going to get away with too many of those.
Those are the ones you usually end up not getting back. One and two. Giovanni Gallardo among the league leaders in opponent batting average. Only Volquez, who is set to return from the disabled list tomorrow for the Reds, has a better opponent batting average. It's pretty impressive this time of the year. Nearly 2 months into the season, opponents batting 193. And there's a swing and a miss. Hannigan down on strikes. When Gallardo needed it most, he picks up his 5th strikeout, and still every out has been a strikeout thus far.
Yeah, well located fastball right on the inside corner after a couple of sliders that Hannigan missed. Gallardo and Kendall decided to try and crown him with a fastball, able to get it by him. Ordinarily, you feel pretty good after getting the number 8 hitter out in the lineup with a pitcher walking to the plate, but not so much with Micah Owings.
Owings batting .296 this year, and Gallardo starts him with a breaking ball. Both Owings and Gallardo know how good each can swing the bat, so they have game planned accordingly. And this really does feel like an American League game with these two swinging the bats. Owings is regularly used as a pinch hitter for Dusty Baker on days he does not pitch. Well, Gallardo made him look bad there, and it's 0-2.
Still hadn't thrown him a fastball. That's respect with the bases loaded. Not a bad career batting average right there.
Owings has a home run this year. It was a pinch hit homer to win a game. Gallardo's got him down 0-2. And down he goes. Gallardo strikes out Hannigan and Owings. And that's your inning. Giovanni Gallardo has recorded 6 outs in this game. And he has 6 strikeouts. Red Strand, the bases loaded.
the bottom of the second inning. Matt Gamble actually picked up one of the 2 RBIs in the first inning, and Ken Maka said he's going to give the rookie a chance to either sink or swim here at the big league level. And when you look at his numbers, he came in batting 160, but Ken Maka was quick to point out that you got to look at the pitchers he's faced. He's faced Chris Carpenter, Adam Wainwright, and Johnny Cueto. So those tough to really get it going against guys like that when you're used to playing every day. But it was good to see Matt Gamble get an RBI in the first inning, guys.
Yeah, we'll see if his confidence rises after that. Always good to have a hit and an RBI in your first at bat. And Ken Maka's right. You know, the guys he has faced have been some of the best in the league.
Yeah,
welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, they're tough enough to face when you're playing every day and you got that rhythm down. But you know, you're playing sparingly and you get up there, you're facing the league's best. But you're right. If you're not playing every day, that first at bat, you get a big base hit to score a run, it takes all the pressure off. And you know, watch Gamble today. I think he's going to have some pretty good at bats because of it.
The Brewers with 2 in the first. RBIs from Cameron and Gamble. And Kendall draws the walk. Brock, I want to take you back to the final out, the strikeout on Owings. And, you know, you don't see this kind of play happen very often. Take us through it.
Yeah, watch Brandon Phillips. I mean, you see the way Jason Kendall's able to block it. Now, Brandon Phillips is going to actually cross home plate before Kendall touches the bag. So he tags the pitcher. That's actually a force out. It doesn't matter when the guy from third base crosses home plate, as long as you tag the runner out, that's going to be the third out. It's like a ground out. It's like a force out on the bases.
Snap throw to first, and Kendall just back. Incidentally, on a ball in the dirt on the final out, in that scenario, you can either tag the batter or you can just step on home plate.
Step on home plate, but the fact that Brandon Phillips had already touched home plate, Kendall couldn't do that. He had to tag the runner out, tag the batter. Pretty close over there at first base. Good arm by Hannigan.
Wow. Brewers might have gotten away with one there.
That's a heck of a play by Phillips. How about that? Talk about a guy that can move around out there at second base. Wow.
Gold Glove second baseman in the National League a season ago.
Got to love his energy out there in the mound. There are times that he can drive you nuts, and a little bit of showmanship on certain plays. He enjoys playing the game of baseball, and you have to admire him for that. And he hustles.
Well, we'll see if Gallardo is up there to bunt once again. He squares early and takes a strike. It's 1-1. Giovanni has only laid down one sacrifice bunt this year. Gets that one down. Nice bunt. Owings only played at first. Sacrifice bunt for Giovanni Gallardo, and Kendall now in scoring position for the top of the order.
Yeah, it looked as though to me Owings might have had a shot at second base. But when he turned around, Alex Gonzalez was pointing toward first, so that's where he got the out. Guy moves around. He's a good athlete out there on the mound. That's how quickly he gets there. Now he has the baseball. He's looking at second, but Gonzalez is pointing to first. It would have been close. You got to make sure of one at least.
So Kendall in scoring position now. Gallardo executes the sacrifice. And now Counsell trying to pick him up. Owings drops down 3/4 and gets strike one. Counsell looked like he had a hit his last time up. Hit a humpback liner into left that hung up for Lance Nix, who ran it down for the out. There's a flare, and that is going to fall. Kendall had to freeze for a moment, so he is unable to score. But Craig Counsell keeps on keeping on.
He just stays on the ball nicely, doesn't he? He might not always hit it right on the screws. That one down in the trademark just a bit, but watch the way he tries to get on top and swing down and through that baseball and still able to muscle it into left field. That's what you call keeping the bat in the hitting zone a long time. We talked about Corey trying to flatten out his swing a little bit. He had a bit of a loop in his swing. That's a perfect example, Council's last at bat, of a nice level swing that stays in the strike zone a good long time.
So J.J. Hardy with runners at the corners, and the Brewers keeping the pressure on Micah Owings. J.J. has been susceptible to the double play ball this year. This time lifts one to center and well hit. Deep enough to score Kendall with ease. And it's 3-0 Brewers. J.J. Hardy with a sacrifice fly at an RBI. And the Brewers doing the little things well in this inning offensively.
Well, think about already in this ball game. They had a beautiful hit and run on a 3-2 count with Ryan Braun. Now they get a walk, a sacrifice, and now a sacrifice fly. So playing some small ball are the Brewers today, after playing some big ball last night.
And a good team can do both. Ryan Braun with 2 away. And Council still at first base. Braun singled and scored his last time up. Drove on into the opposite field. And Owings trying to pound him inside. Ryan's batting average up to .322. Trying to push his way into the league leaders in batting. He's just outside the top 10 as we start play today. Joey Votto currently leads the National League in batting. Day 2 for Votto on the disabled list.
Yeah, guaranteed. If Ryan Braun is at .322 by the All-Star break, he will be in the top 10.
Votto leads the league with a .357 average. Takes .333 right now to break into the top 10.
And that's pretty much where you'd expect Ryan Braun, somewhere between, you know, .310, .330. That's where he lives pretty much. Covers the plate so well. Even when he's not swinging the bat the way he would like, he still is able to get a knock from time to time.
He's another guy who keeps the bat in the hitting zone a long time. And, you know, guys like that, they get the flare hits or the jam shot hits because the bat is on such a proper plane.
And timing doesn't have to be perfect to hit the baseball.
They're not just lucky. It's a product of a swing. 1-2. Tied him up. Count remains the same. Well, the home run leaderboard for the Brewers, courtesy of Powerball, has Fielder at the top. Braun with 9. Milwaukee is a team still second in the National League behind the Phillies. 58 home runs this year for the Brewers. A lot of home run production from the outfield between Braun, Cameron, and Hart this year. Doug Melvin was telling us before the season that is an outfield and a trio that has the potential to hit 80 home runs this season. And it's certainly possible.
That's a lot. That's a lot of home runs.
Ball and 2 strikes on Braun. Just missed. 2-2.
Well, you break it down. I mean, you get 30 out of Ryan, you get 25 out of Cameron and Hart. There's your 80. I guess it's not impossible.
But those are huge numbers from 3 players in one outfield, and all of them are excellent defenders. Council still at first, and Braun down on strikes. Owings stayed away from him and picks up the strikeout, and the side retired. value at your local farm and fleet. By Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save. And by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin. I can't beat fun at the old ballpark. Clowns are out. Trevor Hoffman bobblehead day. Checking on Giovanni Gallardo here, and that is not a good sign. Giovanni, is he coming out, or is he going to have to remove a Band-Aid? Telly Hughes has a report. Telly, what's going on?
Well, guys, I think it's just the umpire went to Giovanni. He has a bandage on his left arm, and I think that may have been a distraction. So he'll either have to color it or put a wristband over it, but he does not appear to be injured. I think it's just maybe some of the Reds hitters were complaining about maybe that being a distraction. So he headed back to the clubhouse, and he'll probably just end up coloring it.
All right, but he's going to have to pitch with an open wound otherwise.
Yeah. Well, umpire's going to let you pretty much get away with anything. I mean, that's kind of nitpicking right there. I mean, a Band-Aid up on the elbow. I mean, I don't know how that can be distracting. But anyway, the Cincinnati Reds feel as though it is. So Dusty Baker goes up there, talks to the home plate umpire, and says, he's got to get rid of that. Can't wear that. Can't have anything white on you other than your uniform.
Well, Jim Wolf, the brother of a big league pitcher. And a little bit of a delay here, and here comes Gallardo. Our Carsoup.com email the booth question has to do with umpires. How do umpires get picked to work a playoff or World Series game? James from Portage wants to know.
Well, that changed a while ago. It used to be just every one of the umpires. It was a rotation. Everybody got to work All-Star games and postseason and World Series. Now it's on an evaluation process. Only the best umpires appear in postseason. And that's the way it should be. It's only the best players that appear in postseason, so you would expect just the best umpires.
Well, Gallardo's warm-ups were complete, so he'll get a few to throw here. Giovanni has 6 strikeouts already through the first 2 innings, and he struck out Micah Owings with the bases loaded last inning. Matter of fact, he struck out Hannigan and Owings with the bases full in the second. So every out has been a strikeout. By the way, for the record, Jim Wolf 2 years ago worked the American League Division Series between the Yankees and the Indians. Remember that series when they had all the bugs?
I do.
They're flying all over Jabba Chamberlain. Jim Wolf was a part of that series.
Brother of Randy Wolf. And Randy Wolf is not allowed to umpire in a game that his brother pitches. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Dickerson pops it up. And the first non-strikeout for the Reds. F6, 1 away here in the 3rd inning.
So apparently the Band-Aid had really no effect on Gallardo or the Cincinnati Reds. Hey, fans, elect your favorite Brewers to the All-Star team this year. Vote early, vote often, and vote Brewers now through July 2nd at Brewers.com.
You just kind of snuck one in there, didn't you?
A little dig. Sparky, or I should say, Dusty Baker pulling his best Tony La Russa impersonation, trying to get into Yo's head a bit.
And he let him completely warm up for the inning and then made the call. So Gallardo just goes and puts some sleeves on. That one's hit well into deep left center, but Cameron, it's dropped. The ball was dropped as Cameron and Braun come together. It was in and out of the glove of Cameron. We saw that the other day. Those two almost collided with each other. Should have been an out. And we'll see how they score it. Probably go as an error on Cameron, I would imagine.
You can see Cameron calling for it. Ryan a little bit too close and certainly distracting Cameron as he's trying to make that catch. I mean, both outfielders have to go hard after it until somebody calls it. Mike Cameron right at the last second waved him off. But a near collision again out there in left center.
So a runner at second with 1 out.
Well, the center fielder is the quarterback. He can He takes anything he feels as though he can get to.
And that'll go as an error on Cameron. There's a base hit. So Jay Bruce, first hit of the series, delivers a run. Well, an error leads to a run, and the Reds are on the board here in the third inning.
Well, he doesn't miss too many fastballs. When he's got him early in the count, that went out over the plate, and Bruce just bangs it right back where it came from. And Jerry Hairston able to score the first run for the Cincinnati Reds.
Bruce with his 30th RBI. 3-1 Milwaukee. Cameron gets charged for his first error of the year. Brewers have not committed an error since Friday in Minneapolis.
Yeah, it's been a while. They played some very good defense, making all the routine plays and a lot of the spectacular plays. We've seen a lot in this homestand.
In 6 games since the Brewers committed their last error. It's uncharacteristic. We were just talking about Braun and Cameron and Hart and how fast they are and how much ground they could cover. Braun's speed actually disrupted the timing of that play. Normally you'll see the left fielders, once the center fielder makes the call, the center fielder is the vocal one in that scenario. The left fielder just peels off.
Now, sometimes you have a big crowd in the ballpark, you might not be able to hear somebody calling it off, so you keep going. And right at the last second, Cameron did it with the hand signal, but a little bit too late.
Braun just committed his first error of his career as a left fielder earlier on this homestand. Phillips gets jammed, a little pop up into left, and that's going to fall. So Brandon Phillips takes one off the handle and delivers a base hit. Back-to-back hits for the Reds, 2 on, just 1 out here in the third inning.
Well, maybe that Band-Aid, did help Giovanni. All of a sudden, the Cincinnati Reds getting some better swings. I mean, not hammering the baseball, but very effective. Fastball in off the plate, and Brandon Phillips able to pop the hips open and get enough of it to dump it into left field. Wasn't even a strike. Able to muscle it in front of Ryan.
Well, the Reds had the bases loaded last inning with 1 out and could not score. Now first and second with 1 out. A run is already in. And here's Lance Nix, and Gallardo gets ahead of him. Starting to get to the point of the afternoon where it becomes tougher and tougher to see the baseball as a hitter, as those shadows start to creep out over home plate. It's a similar setting to what Gallardo had on Monday with Chris Carpenter of the Cardinals. Day game, bright sunshine.
Making pitches like that very difficult. Good changeup. You talk to the players about the shadows here, and they'll tell you that it's toughest when everything's in the shade except for the batter's eye. You look back there behind the pitcher and everything's bright, and you're in the shade. Makes it tough to see.
Gallardo's got another one. That is number 7 already for Giovanni Gallardo. And the second time he has struck out Lance Nix.
Right on the inside corner. Nice pitch right at the knees.
Giovanni had an 11 strikeout performance against Pittsburgh. And well on that pace right now. That 11 strikeout game against the Pirates at the end of April, also his career high for strikeouts in a game. Kind of anxious to see how Giovanni would respond after his last start. The most pitches he'd ever thrown in his big league career, 126 pitches. Ken Maka said he felt comfortable allowing Gallardo to continue in that game because of the extra off day. Gallardo pitching on his 6th day right now instead of his 5th because of the off day Thursday.
And it's really not that many pitches over what he would normally throw. But throwing 105, 110 pitches is pretty much the norm for Gallardo. So you're only talking about maybe 15 more pitches.
Little half swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, says the base umpire. Brian O'Nora raises the thumb on Hernandez. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Sometimes with a power pitcher, which is what you can maybe consider Gallardo, I mean, the extra day might be a detriment more than helping him. Get him out of his routine a bit.
One and 2. 2-men aboard for the Reds. Got him. Giovanni Gallardo racking up the strikeouts this afternoon. Number 8. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd, Prince Fielder leads off against Micah Owings. 3-1 Milwaukee on 4 hits. Fielder having a huge month of May. 31 runs batted in. Only Joe Mauer has more RBIs. And Fielder making a strong bid at National League Player of the Month. Final day of May today. After a slow start in April. And I wouldn't even maybe go as far as calling it a slow start for Fielder. His numbers were down, but Fielder drawing a lot of walks in the month of April, and he wasn't being pitched to that often. He has really caught fire here in the 2nd month of the season. Fielder's driven in 5 runs in this series.
Well, it's all about who's hitting in front of and behind Prince, whether they're going to pitch to him or not. Mike Cameron's starting to heat up again after he went through a cold spell. Ryan Braun, guys getting on in front of Prince, forced the opposition to throw him strikes, and he's been taking advantage of it.
Now, you want to do a comparison? Best in the month of May in the National League, and there's what Fielder is up against.
Let's do a little telestrating here. I guess it's going to be between those two, if I could be so bold.
Looks like it. Ibanez has had a great season.
Pretty close.
But Fielder's numbers a little bit stronger across the board, I think. Ibanez has had an unbelievable start to his Philadelphia portion of his career. Must feel like he's playing on a wiffle ball field after spending so many years at Safeco Field in Seattle.
Yeah.
Ibanez has 17 home runs this season, second in the league only to Adrian Gonzalez of the Padres. Fielder draws the walk. Leadoff walk here in the third inning. Owings has issued 3 walks, 1 in each inning thus far, and so far the first 2 walks have scored. So Mike Cameron with Fielder at first. Cameron drove in a run with 2 outs in the first. And he hits that one deep to left. Cameron watching this one go. Mike Cameron, a 2-run home run. His 11th of the year. And the Brewers take a 5-1 lead here in the third inning.
Well, Cam continues to do that. They're going to be forced to throw Prince Fielder strikes. Boy, oh boy. I tell you, this team, when they get hot, they get hot. They went about a week and a half, struggled to score runs, so maybe snapping out of it here at the end of this homestand. Fastball right down the middle, and Cam didn't miss it.
Homering in consecutive games. Mike Cameron now with 11 on the year, and he has now driven in 3 runs in this game and has 27. And talk about a guy who is trying to play his way to St. Louis for the All-Star game. Cameron is certainly worthy right now.
Yeah, Mike Cameron, you know what he's thinking about in that dugout. He said, there you go. I not only made up for the error that I made, I added one. I bet that's what Billy's saying to him.
Yeah, you don't see the pitching coach talking to the position players very often. Gamble takes one down and in, almost hit him. So Mike Cameron back to his home run ways. Well, he is on a big pace as well, trying to break into the top 10 in long balls. Cameron currently tied for 10th in home runs now with 11. So Fielder with 12 and Cameron with 11, Braun with 9. I was in the clubhouse the other day. We were trying to set up some all-star promotion stuff with a few players, Prince Fielder and J.J. Hardy. And as Gamble sends one to right, and that's down for a base hit. So Matt Gamble is 2 for 2. And the rookie seems to have found his stroke. A walk and consecutive hits for the Brewers.
And did a nice job tomahawking a 1-2 fastball by Micah Owens. There it is, up in the zone, up and in. Boy, Owens really having a tough time finding his spots. Hannigan wanted it away and reached back over the plate, and Gamble able to bang it into right. Location not very good so far for Micah Owens.
Gamble at first, nobody out, and here's Corey Hart. Goes back to Prince Fielder though, Rocco. We're in the clubhouse, and you know everybody's in there. All the players are in there and trying to set up a time with Prince to do some of this stuff. And he goes, "What about Mike Cameron?" You know how Prince is, loud as he could be. Mike Cameron, who's playing a better center field than Mike Cameron in the National League? I said, you're exactly right. Which is why we have our big Mike Cameron Day coming up in Atlanta.
That's right.
Next weekend.
At his house.
At his house. So Cameron certainly is putting together the kind of numbers that would send him to St. Louis. You know, the opposing managers understand how important he is to this ball club. Cameron's been an all-star in his career. And wouldn't that be something if he could return to the Midsummer Classic at the age of 36? Hart down the line, gets by Hairston. And Gamble will hold at second. Hairston was there to make the play, but that will go as a hit as it stayed down on the Reds' third baseman, and the Brewers have 2 on with nobody out, and the first 4 have reached in this inning.
Well, another location that was not where Hannigan wanted it. That was a generous ruling by the official score. That ball looked as though Hairston could have got in front of it, tried to play it on the backhand to set himself up for a throw, and just whiffed it.
Two on, nobody out, and it's Kendall on the corner, a strike. Kendall walked and scored his last time up, and they have now changed that Corey Hart single to an E5.
I hope that's not because of what I said.
Bill Schroeder, SCHROE.
I would hate to think that I got a hit taken away from Corey Hart. There's no way that they're listening to me.
Won't you be nervous until you find out?
Yeah, I'm going to avoid Corey tonight. They have us on in that press box. I wonder.
Not with our guys. No way. Bouncer. Hairston's got it. Fired his second for 1. And a double play. 5-4 to 3. The Reds go around the horn and pick up 2 outs with 1 swing of the bat. Gamble ends up at third base on the play.
Now this one a little bit easier for Jerry Hairston, able to turn the double play without a problem. Got in front of that one. And an easy 5-4 to 3.
I wonder if Owings will pitch around Gallardo with a base open at first. I mean, we've hyped it up pretty good here today.
Yeah.
Gallardo and Owings, 2 good hitting pitchers. But at the end of the day, they're still pitchers, right?
I'm still worried about that official scoring. You know, the more I think about that, look at that was a base hit.
Yeah, it looked clean to me all
one
the way.
down the line. I mean, they got to change that.
Base hit for sure.
Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more, Rock. Well, the active home run leaders among pitchers since the 07 season when Gallardo burst onto the scene. 4 home runs in that time. Micah Owings with 6. Gallardo pops it foul, took a big cut. But like everything else in this game, once you kind of establish yourself a little bit, that's when the scouts and the bird dogs start doing their work. And just like any other hitter, there is plenty of scouting reports on Gallardo and the holes in his swing. 1-2. Down he goes. He chased one. So Gallardo strikes out. But the Brewers continue to put runs on the board. This time, Mike Cameron launches one to the deep left. His 11th home run, and it's 5-1 Milwaukee. In the books here at Miller Park, and let's get you caught up. The Brewers scoring in every inning thus far. Matt Gamble 2 for 2 thus far with an RBI. Gamble's having a good day, and Mike Cameron's having a great day. 2 hits in 2 at-bats, single and an RBI, and a 2-run home run. And we have breaking news, Bill Schroeder. What is the breaking news that you're waving at me about?
Well, they changed that Corey Hart to a hit again. I am so happy about that. I'm going to be able to go up to Corey and without worried about him getting on me a bit.
Okay.
So base hit, Corey. You're welcome.
Started as a hit. Rock had it changed to an error, and now it's back to a hit. It's a good thing I said something.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you. Always good to be in a foxhole with you, pal.
Mm-hmm. Schroeder, Schroeder. Not Schrader making that call.
That was a hit. The more you look at it.
Hey, they've already changed it, so. We're kidding, of course. We don't want to undermine what the folks at Major League Baseball do, and the terrific official scorer, Tim O'Driscoll. He would never. Not only does he not listen to us, but he's always right anyway. So what does he care what we think?
Well, as we go around the league, we see some big-time homering going on with respect to official scoring decisions. But Tim O'Driscoll does a great job. He really does. He's one of the best.
The coach, longtime head baseball coach at Arrowhead High School. You're big time when you have the field named after you that you coach on.
Right.
Tim O'Driscoll Field. There he is. He's a good man.
He was the official scorer here even when I was playing.
Did you ever have any disagreements with any calls that Tim made on your behalf?
All the time. All the time, but I respected his decisions. He'd always tell me, he said, there's no way you're going to beat that out.
Gonzalez goes down the line. That's a fair ball. And Alex Gonzalez has 2 hits against Giovanni Gallardo. Leadoff double here in the 4th. Aflac trivia question this afternoon. Who was the last Reds pitcher to win the MLB Silver Slugger Award? The last Reds pitcher. Micah Owings won that award as a Diamondback.
Trick question, isn't it?
Back in 07. Little ornery in the truck today with that question. Here's Hannigan with a runner at second, nobody out.
Getting back to the official scoring decision, sometimes the speed of a batter has a lot to do with whether they're going to call a hit or an error. If you get a guy that runs well like Corey Hart, guy goes in the hole and kind of goes off his glove and is a little bit late with the throw, you get a base hit. A guy that can't run, it's an error. And
the athleticism of the player involved. And
right.
Those 2 components came together last year in Pittsburgh with CC Sabathia, who threw a 1-hitter against the Pirates. Should have been a no-hitter. Hannigan pops it up. JJ staring into the blue sky. And it's out number 1. A clear blue sky today. But it's a different kind of sky than what players deal with in Arizona for some reason. Why is that, Rock? I guess you've got the upper deck, you've got the roof.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of the roof that is helping you out, giving you a little bit of a frame of reference. Down in spring training, you have nothing to look up at. Absolutely nothing. I mean, it's a similar sky, but as you mentioned, the stuff around, what the guys are looking at helps you out.
Well, they say if you can play the outfield in March in Arizona, you can play the outfield anywhere. And they certainly don't have that kind of problem when they go into their season in Arizona at Chase Field because of the reference points you're talking about. That's what it's all about. It's gauging the height and when the ball's coming down. There's no clouds or anything up above to gauge it with. That's when it can become troublesome.
They call it a high sky. Makes it tough.
Big sports day today in Milwaukee. Just a few miles down the road. Open wheel racing. The Indy Series at the Milwaukee Mile. A lot of traffic. That'll be a sellout over there as well. A sellout here at Miller Park.
Yeah, 94 East, a mess coming into the ballpark today.
Yeah, you might want to take an alternate route if you're heading down 94. 2-2 to Micah Owings. Gallardo has 8 strikeouts. There's only been 2 outs in this game that have not been strikeouts. And they've both been pop-ups to J.J. Hardy. Nice play by Kendall. Keeps Gonzalez over at second base.
A lot of respect that Gallardo has for the guy at the plate right here. Throwing him a 2-strike, 2-ball curveball. Don't see too many pitchers get a pitch like that in that count.
That was a pitch Owings struck out on with the bases loaded in the second. Fastball blowing right by him. Gallardo strikes out Owings. Number 9 for Giovanni Gallardo.
Yep, curveball in the dirt, then the high fastball. Out of the strike zone, ball 4. Micah Owings comes up empty. Big swing. Not your typical pitcher swing up there. Hey, kids ages 8 to 13, you're eligible to win the Pick and Save Cops Bat Boy Bat Girl contest. The winning child will win 4 Brewers tickets and will be able to deliver the rosin bag to the pitcher's mound before the ball game. See the June 14th to 24th Pick and Save ad for the official entry form. It's a good deal.
Chris Dickerson, top of the order for the Reds. 0 for 2 against Gallardo. He struck him out in the first inning, and then Dickerson popped up in the third.
This is about the time where it really starts getting tough to see. We talked about the fact that when you have the pitcher and everybody around home plate in the shade, half of Gallardo is in the shade, half is not, or close to it.
So as a hitter, what you see, hitters are all about picking up release point. Ted Williams used to talk about, shifting his eyes from the logo on the pitcher's cap over to that area where the hand comes out of for the pitcher. And you see that baseball, bright sunshine, immediately goes into the shadows.
Tough to focus. And depth perception becomes very difficult.
Gallardo walks Dickerson on 4 straight. A little uncharacteristic of Gallardo. His second walk given up today, and it's 1st and 2nd now for Jerry Hairston. Gallardo taking a little more time between pitches than normal. It is a cool afternoon here. But he does have 9 strikeouts. He's only given up 4 hits.
It's awfully difficult to have the same stuff on your pitches start after start. Billy Castro has apparently seen something in his delivery. Hasn't really seemed all that comfortable all day. Kind of walking around the mound a little bit, as you mentioned, taking a little bit more time between pitches. He was so good his last time out. It's very difficult to back those kind of starts up time after time.
Quick trip to the mound for Billy Castro. Some creative hats again today. Look at that one, man. That's impressive. That's a custom job.
How would you like to be sitting behind that kid? What happened? What's going on? Who's up?
2 balls, no strikes. 6 consecutive balls for Gallardo. Reds have 2 on with 2 out. Giovanni's pitch count is at 75 right now. little high for this time of game for Gallardo's stuff, but still not too bad. When you're racking up a lot of strikeouts, you're going to throw a lot of pitches. And Gallardo has 9 already. In the air, fielder waving off, foul territory, and he's got it. And the inning ends. And the Reds strand 2 more. They've left 7 men on base.
Victory during the month of May has been a big one, and fans, now you can reap the benefits. Each win has resulted in a $1 off Loge outfield ticket for any game of the series versus the Colorado Rockies on June 9th through the 11th. The regular price of the ticket is $28, and so far the Brewers have 17 victories in the month of May, which means $17 off that ticket so far. Tickets for this promotion will go on sale beginning tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and can be purchased by calling 414-902-4000 or visiting Brewers.com. And if they can make it 18 today, those are some really good $10 tickets, guys.
No question. Thanks, Telly. Brewers on the road for a week to Florida and then Atlanta. 4-game series with the Marlins coming up next. That'll start tomorrow, and then the Braves over the weekend, and then the Brewers back home to face the Rockies and the White Sox, back to interleague play. White Sox coming to Miller Park. That'll be something. 5-1 Brewers. Milwaukee scoring in every inning thus far. Got 2 in the first, 1 in the second. Cameron hit a 2-run homer in the third.
And the White Sox starting to play some pretty good baseball. They've had a good stretch.
Well, Chicago's almost got it back to 500. They're 23-25. Playing today, the White Sox facing the Royals today. Owings knocks it down. Good play. And Counsell is retired. So the Aflac trivia question: what current Reds pitcher was the last to win the MLB Silver Slugger Award? That didn't quite sound the same this time around, but it's Micah Owings.
What current Reds pitcher? They should know better than that in the truck on a Sunday morning.
You know what? They're making sure we're on top of it.
Yeah, we're not.
Well done. Micah Owings is the answer. See, I gave away the answer under the old format.
I'm glad it was you. It's usually me.
The point is, what we're trying to tell you, at least those in the graphics department, really want to stress that Micah Owings is a good hitter. And he is so good that he won the Silver Slugger Award back in '07. Hardy bounces one over to Hernandez. And it's 2 up and 2 down. Ryan Braun stepping in with 2 outs, and our diggers digging up the archive. Ryan Braun, a grand slam against Cincinnati back in early May. That capped off a huge week for Braun. That was the week he was named National League Player of the Week, and part of that drubbing that the Brewers put on Cincinnati in Cincinnati. Brewers had 9 runs on the board in the first 2 innings, and scored 15 runs on 20 hits that day in the Queen City.
Yeah, against a pretty good pitcher, Bronson Arroyo. Arroyo 7-3 this year.
Arroyo coming off a complete game victory his last time out. Owings snatches this one, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. The Brewers retired in order for the first time today.
Can run the bases right here at Miller Park. That's compliments of great clips. For ticket information, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com.
And speaking of Miller, we want to send out happy anniversary wishes to Aaron Miller, who works here at Miller Park. He and his wife Kristen celebrating their first anniversary here at the ballpark today. They want to say hi to their family back in Holman, Wisconsin. And also a 50th anniversary for Judy and Alan Reinheimer. Congratulations from us at Brewers Television. From a 1-year anniversary to a 50-year anniversary. And all the fun that's in between.
Yeah.
5-1, the Brewers lead the Reds. Final game of the series, Milwaukee going after the sweep against Cincinnati. And a 4-2 homestand if they could pull it off. Jay Bruce drove in a run. Only run that Cincinnati has scored against Gallardo. Bruce had an RBI single back in the 3rd inning. It was an unearned run that scored in the 3rd. Gallardo with 9 strikeouts. He has allowed 2 walks thus far. He's hit a batter, and he's given up 4 hits. That one's well hit into left. Braun closing fast. He lays out, and he got it. Ryan Braun, what a play. Oh, man. Full extension, and he robs Jay Bruce of an extra base hit.
Well, he's becoming a tremendous left fielder. He did commit his first error this year, but certainly one of the nicest plays we've seen. We saw him make one earlier this month on a ball down the line, fully stretched out. Our Home Depot doing more on defense. Ryan Braun with a dandy out and left. My goodness.
He has made 2 of the best catches of the year this season. As Braun laid out for one in St. Louis, and for the second time he lays out. Brandon Phillips puts this one where it won't be caught. Solo home run for the Reds second baseman. Phillips, number 9, and the Reds closed to within 3 runs of the Brewers. It's now 5-2 Milwaukee.
Might put a charge into that fastball. My goodness, that was a well-hit baseball. Talk about a bad hand. Really no sign of it right there. Pitched down and in, just golfed it on into the Brewer bullpen. A good wood on that. His second home run in this series.
In only his second start, Phillips homered yesterday in the first inning. And a long home run here in the 5th against Gallardo. Phillips is putting together quite a month of May himself. Kendall pounces on that one, and Nix is retired. 2 outs in the inning. Phillips now has 29 RBIs in the month of May. So we talked about Prince Fielder's big month. Phillips, who has missed some time. You think about Brandon missed an entire week, and still with big productive numbers from the second base position this month.
And not too many second basemen put up the numbers that this guy does year after year, and have the defense to back it up. Pretty good all-around player, Brandon Phillips.
Two outs for Ramon Hernandez. Hernandez walked his first time up. Giovanni struck him out looking to end a threat in the 3rd inning. Reds have had some base runners today. They've left 7 men on base.
Yep, 2 for 11 so far with runners in scoring position. So they've had opportunities to drive in some runs. But the large portion of Giovanni's strikeouts have come in situations where the Reds have had men in scoring position.
Good looking curveball from Gallardo, and it's 1-2 on Hernandez. Buckled his knees.
That just missed the outside corner after throwing the curveball for a strike.
See what he has in mind. 2-2. Fielder's got it, and the inning ends. Cincinnati puts another tally on the board on a Phillips home run, but Giovanni threw 5 with the lead. 7 hits. Cincinnati just adding one to their total. 2 runs on 5 hits now. Brandon Phillips hits his 9th of the year and his 2nd in as many days. And it's 5-2 as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fielder again leading off an inning. Owings walked him to start the 3rd inning, and the next man up, Mike Cameron, took him deep. You can mark the Brewers' run of success with Cameron's spot in the lineup moving from 6 to 5, hitting behind Prince Fielder. That's when the Brewers really started to take off back in April. Fielder down on strikes.
No, it's just a matter of Ken Maka trying to find a good combination in that batting order that was going to work. You know, J.J. Hardy was behind Prince initially. Brewers get off to a slow start. And at bats like that is one of the reasons why not only Prince Fielder has really prospered, but the Brewers have been one of the best teams in baseball after the 2nd week of the season.
Powerball home run number 11 for Cameron. Cameron's driven in 3 in this game on 2 hits. Had a single and an RBI with 2 outs in the 1st. The Brewers went the first 3 games in this series without a home run. Have hit 6 in this series against Cincinnati. Since Cameron moved into the 5 spot in the order, in that protection spot behind Fielder, the Brewers 23-11. 12 games over 500. Broken bat. Gonzalez gobbles it up, and Cameron is retired. And all of a sudden, Micah Owings has retired 7 straight.
Hey, let's check out today's Timer of the Game winner, and it's the Pines 2 Asylum in Brussels, Wisconsin. That sounds like my kind of place, the Asylum. If the Tavern Contact calls the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
2 outs for Matt Gamble. The young Gamble with 2 hits this afternoon. Drove in a run back in the 1st. He and Cameron had back-to-back 2-out RBI singles. Gamble hit 8 home runs down in AAA before his call up to the big leagues. And we'll get spot starts. He and Billy Hall will be sharing time over 3rd. Gamble is going to be the designated hitter once again when the Brewers get back into interleague play in the middle of June when they go to Cleveland and Detroit. That interleague series against the Indians will start on June 15th. 3-game series, and then at Detroit June 19th. Tigers the front runner in the American League Central. White Sox are coming in on the next homestand, but that'll be a National League ball game at a National League park, so no designated hitter will be used in that series against the White Sox. Twins are also coming to Miller Park this year. Two balls, 2 strikes on Gamble. Three and 2.
You know, on that road trip, when the Brewers go to Cleveland and Detroit, they're going to see the good and the bad with respect to pitching in the American League. Cleveland with the worst earned run average in the American League at 5.39. Detroit second best, 3.95. Cleveland really having a tough time this year.
Kind of flip-flop. I think a lot of people thought, you know, we were around the Indians this spring. They moved their spring training home to Arizona. There was a lot of high expectations for that ball club this spring. Gamble strikes out. Owens threw him a changeup. And it's another 1-2-3 inning. Owings has retired 8 straight. Scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Trevor Hoffman bobblehead day here at Miller Park, and a huge crowd on hand to see it. The Brewers lead 5-2 over the Reds. And we'll see if the all-time saves leader makes an appearance here today. Look out. Gonzalez throws the bat for the second time, and this time almost picked off his catcher.
How about some pine tar? That was a fastball that time, and that's about the third time he's done that in this series. And a very athletic play to get out of the way of that bat on the on-deck circle. That was heading right for his head.
See, you think you're safe. Got to pay attention. Gallardo pops him up. 2 pitches and 1 out here in the 6th. Gallardo could use a quick inning. His pitch count right now is at 91 as he works in the 6th inning.
Well, he used to do that all the time for the Brewers. Jeremy Burnett, he would airmail some bats in the seats on a regular basis. I mean, he'd get some pretty good distance too. I mean, he'd throw them all the way down the right field line.
Yeah.
Took a mighty hack sometimes on a changeup or something off speed. He'd let it go.
You see guys do that. Those who, keep the pinky off the bat, off the bottom of the bat. Hannigan lines one, a base hit, and that one's going to shoot the gap. Cameron can't cut it off. Hannigan running for a while. He'll stop at second with a double. Cameron had him shaded well into right center. So he had a long way to go, and it's another extra base hit for the Reds.
And first pitch fastballs have been dangerous, all series. Brewers, for the most part, have done a nice job trying to throw something else, or you make a mistake with a fastball, these guys will make you pay for it. Jay Bruce drove in around on a first pitch fastball, and now Hannigan rips one into the gap on a first pitch fastball.
Half of the Reds' hits have gone for extras, and the last 3 hits have been extra base hits. 2 doubles and a home run.
This ordinarily might be a time where you'd see the manager go to the bench, try to get some offense going, but with Micah Owings at the plate and on the mound, why use a pinch hitter? He's one of your best pinch hitters anyway.
Owings has actually had 7 pinch hit at bats this year for Dusty, and has 3 hits. He's driven in 3 as a pinch hitter.
Kind of saves your bench when you have a guy like Owings.
And one other thing it allows Dusty Baker to have at his disposal is an extra arm in the bullpen. The Reds carry 13 pitchers. And the reason they carry 13 as opposed to 12 is because Owings is that extra bench player. And he hammers that one into left, a base hit. Hannigan will stop at third. Braun got to it quickly, and all of a sudden the Reds will bring the tying run to the plate as Micah Owings delivers with his first hit of the game.
That's why you don't need a pinch hitter to get offense. A curveball, he's been seeing a lot of those today. They would have banged that one into left field. A mistake curveball, and Owens made him pay for it.
Stetter gets ready. And here comes Ken Maka. He has seen enough. Got a left-hander coming up, and Chris Dickerson. Maka's going to go ahead and make the double switch here. Matt Gamble made the final out in the fifth, and it looks like Gamble is coming out. Hall will enter the game at third, and Maka is going to go to his bullpen and bring on Mitch Stetter. We'll take a timeout. Reds have the tying run at the plate. The left-handed Stetter coming in. Stay with He's in on the double switch. He takes over at third, and he'll hit third in the bottom of this inning. And Rockets Mitch Stetter out of the bullpen.
Well, Mitch pitched in last night's ball game, 2/3 of an inning, got a couple of strikeouts, so throwing the baseball pretty well in his 25th appearance on the season.
Gallardo 5 1/3. He's allowed 7 hits, and at this point 2 runs, 1 earned. Chris Dickerson with some pop in his bat, representing the tying run. Stetter starts him with a breaking ball and falls behind.
Tough guy to double up Dickerson, although they were able to double him up on Friday night. Big play late in the ball game.
Dickerson has had only 8 at-bats against left-handers this year. He's 1 for 8 on a 125 batting average. That one's in there. Now that double play Dickerson grounded into on Friday, the first double play ball he has grounded into all year. And one of the reasons Dusty Baker said he let him swing away in that game, it proved to be the pivotal at-bat in that game. A little chopper. Stetter has got it. He's going to second for 1. Hardy's turn, not in time. And Hannigan still standing at third base.
Oh, what is he doing? That terrible base running. Oh, you got to go. You got to eliminate the possibility of the double play. You got to force the defense hand by taking off. Stetter had no hesitation in going to second base. That should have been a run for the Reds. That's going to be a big play before this one's over. Not even looking at third base. Ryan Hannigan decides to stay there. Bad base running play. Very bad base running play. You got to go.
And then stuck in no man's land. So a ground ball that goes nearly around the horn, and Cincinnati unable to score. And here comes Ken Maka back to the mound. Jerry Hairston, the next man up for the Reds. You've got the left-handed Jay Bruce in the on-deck circle. So a decision time here for Ken Maka.
I really don't think they're going to make a move here. This is more about what you're going to do in the event of an attempted stolen base. Pitch carefully to Hairston. Pretty good against left-handed hitters, or I should say pitchers. And then you've got Jay Bruce, who ordinarily is not bad against lefties, but Mitch Stetter, an unorthodox left-handed pitcher, you can throw those stats out the window.
Well, the Brewers only have one lefty in their bullpen, but Carlos Villanueva features one of the best changeups in the league, and that makes him valuable against left-handed hitters as well. So Maka has set his piece here. The Reds still have the tying run at the plate. Hairston has hit 7 home runs this year and takes a lash at that one. Breaking ball from Stetter. It's 0-1.
I would imagine Villanueva getting loose in this inning just in case Phillips' spot comes up. Brandon Phillips. He's after Jay Bruce.
Right off the end of the bat. Runners at the corners for Cincinnati. Stetter misses. Ball and a strike on Hairston.
And see how tough it is to, I would imagine, to see up there at the plate. They're giving Hairston a big hole over there between first and second. Counsell shaded up the middle and double play depth. Prince holding the runner at first.
Chased one. Boy, on a pitch that almost hit him. Hairston takes a big cut, and it's 1-2.
You got to be careful just trying to shoot the outside corner. You don't want to just flip something up away, because Hairston very capable of shooting that ball in the right field. Counsell up the middle just in case Dickerson tries to steal.
This is where Jason Kendall becomes so valuable in a spot like this, with a relatively young bullpen. Kendall wants it outside, and Hairston chases one. Down he goes. Stetter strikes out Jerry Hairston, and the inning ends, and the Reds strand 2 more.
supposed to be away. Down and in, and Jason able to slide over there and block it.
Giovanni Gallardo in a winning position now. The Brewers starter goes 5 1/3, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, walks 2, and strikes out 9. So his book is complete. And now it's the bullpen to take it the rest of the way. On the flip side, Micah Owings has settled down since he gave up the home run to Cameron, and then the back-to-back hits to Gamble and Hart. Has not allowed a base runner. He has recorded 8 consecutive outs.
Well, he's putting the ball where he wants to right now. I mean, last couple of innings he's been very good on the corners, keeping it down, and that changeup has been much better. That pitch right there, 74 miles an hour, started out very shaky, but it's certainly righted the ship lately.
Owings' last time out against the Brewers was earlier this month in Cincinnati, and he picked up the win that day. Gave up 4 earned runs in 6 innings, a 6-5 Cincinnati win. He also had a triple in that game, which was a key hit for the Reds that day. Does have a hit tonight. We build this as 2 of the best hitting pitchers in baseball. Owings is 1 for 3. Gallardo finishes 0 for 1, but he did drop down a sacrifice bunt. And Owings outlasting Gallardo despite being on the hook for the loss at this point. Three big strikeouts today for Brewer pitching. Gallardo struck out Owings with the bases loaded in the second. Hernandez struck out looking with 2 on in the third, and then that strikeout a moment ago from Stetter on Jerry Hairston with 2 on.
Now 7 of the 10 Cincinnati strikeouts have come with a man in scoring position. So the Brewers have been able to, Gallardo and Stetter, get the strikeouts when they need them most. Cincinnati only 3 for 14 with men in scoring position today, and only 1 of those hits have driven in a run.
Jay Bruce has the only hit that played it a run. That was in the 3rd inning, and that was an unearned run against Gallardo. 2 runs, 1 earned. Jay Bruce an RBI, Brandon Phillips a home run. Giovanni trying to win his 5th of the year today. After a long battle, Corey Hart finally retired and 1 away. Well, Cincinnati today has left 9 on base, and it's been the strikeout that has been the story. Owings with the bases loaded. Hernandez got caught looking with 2 on, and then Stetter striking out Jerry Hairston. There have been 10 strikeouts against the Reds today. Giovanni had 9 of them. Kendall down the left field line. This is going to be trouble, and it goes to the wall. Kendall on his way to second. A double for Jason Kendall, his first hit of the game, and the Brewers in business with 1 out here in the 6th inning.
Well, got to pitch up in the strike zone, and Jason yanking that one down the left field line. Lance Nix playing relatively shallow with Kendall at the plate. There's that pitch, looked like a fastball. Once again, not the location that he was looking for. Nix not able to get there, so Jason with a 1-out double.
And instead of the pitcher coming up, Maka made the double switch last inning. It's Bill Hall to hit with a chance to pick up an RBI. Hall's first at bat. Hall is 0 for 3 in his career against Owings. This will be a big run for the Brewers to pick up. Not just for the scoreboard distance, but also the psychological distance. You pick up a run, tack one on late in a ball game.
Yep, get that momentum back. Michael Owings feeling pretty good about himself right now. He's thrown very well. He's only made that one mistake to Jason now since the end of the third inning.
Reds have the tying run at the plate near the top of this frame and could not score. Now the Brewers trying to deliver the 6th run of the game. Hall was part of the party last night. Billy drove one off the wall in deep left center. Drove in a run. 1 for 4 last night with a double, a run scored, an RBI, and a walk. And a game-winning hit on Monday to start this homestand. And Hall strikes out. Owings goes up the ladder. 2 outs. 5th strikeout for Micah Owings.
Well, exactly where he wanted it. Hannigan wanted it up out of the zone. Billy not able to hold up. Interesting to see what they do here. You got Counsell, the left-hander, up. A very good contact hitter. Hannigan out there talking to Owings. They may be very careful with him, but yeah, you don't want to have J.J. Hardy walk up to the plate. He's been swinging the bat pretty well.
The numbers on Owings as Dusty Baker makes his way to the mound. 5 2/3 for Owings. He's given up the 5 runs thus far. No call to the bullpen yet.
Well, the right-hander Hardy on deck. They do have a right-hander loosening up. I would not be surprised if they kept him in there and just actually they're going to make a move. They're going to go to the bullpen. Maybe Mike Owings said.
Hiding behind the graphic there.
Yeah.
He can do that. Nick Massett is on to pitch rock for Micah Owings. Owings finishes with 5 2/3, 8 hits and 5 runs. And it's Massett to try to get the Reds through the 6th.
Owings did a nice job turning things around and kept his team in the ball game. 13th appearance from Massett. Pretty good numbers. He picked up a win on Tuesday against the Astros. Pitched a scoreless inning.
So Massett against Craig Counsell with 2 outs and Kendall at second base. Kendall doubled down the left field line with 1 away as the Brewers try to add 1 on here in the 6th. Hardy would be next if Counsell can reach. Counsell 1 for 3. He's having a big homestand. Counsell now 9 hits on the homestand. 9 for 24 at the plate. Two balls, no strikes.
Maybe being careful to Craig Counsell to bring J.J. Hardy to the plate. I can't imagine that the Reds would want to do that. But a guy like J.J. that can drive the ball out of the ballpark, basically ending this one. Just trying to get Counsell to roll over on one. Missed the outside corner a couple of times.
Counsell jumps on it right at Hernandez, and the side retired. Massett does his job. The inning ends. The Brewers fail to score. Still 5-2. Wisconsin is presented by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. Final game of the homestand. The Brewers hit the road tonight. Start a series with the Marlins tomorrow in Miami. Hope you'll make plans to be with us. A 4-game series against Florida. And then 3 in Atlanta over the weekend. To the 7th we go. 5-2 Brewers lead the Reds, and it's Stetter against Jay Bruce to start this inning. Most likely the final hitter that Stetter will face. Villanueva loosening in the bullpen. Actually, Mark DeFelice now throwing in the bullpen for the Brewers. The options that Ken Baca has to prepare for Trevor Hoffman if the game stays as is in a save situation.
Yeah, it's nice to have a lot of options down in that bullpen. They've all been throwing the ball pretty well. Knock on wood.
Two and two the count on Jay Bruce. Bruce against left-handers this year batting 191. Only one of his 14 home runs have come against left-handed pitching. Stetter has him even in the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rolls over one. Fielder off his bare hand. Counsell recovers, and it's too late. So Fielder misplays one at first base. And Bruce is aboard to start the 7th inning.
Well, Prince probably should have backhanded that one. Tried to get in front of it. Actually hit him in the bare hand, as you mentioned, and over to Counsell, but too late for Bruce, who was hustling down the line. That'll go as an error on Prince, his 2nd of the season. And good hustle down the line by Jay Bruce.
Bruce has good speed and wants a guy by fielder, no chance. So an E3. And the Reds have a leadoff runner aboard here, down by 3 in the 7th inning. And Stetter is going to face Brandon Phillips.
Kind of surprising that Stetter is going to be facing a right-hander, particularly a right-handed batter that has very good power. Get the Reds right back in this ball game, but with Lance Nix on deck, I guess you got to weigh what you would rather have.
Yeah, 2-run homer here, you're still ahead. But if Stetter can retire Brandon Phillips, then Maka has his lefty against Nix.
Well, again, he'd rather have Stetter facing Phillips than DeFelice facing Nix. I guess that's the choice that he has to make.
No balls and 2 strikes on Brandon Phillips. He homered his last time up. Not afraid to take a hack with 2 strikes either. Lays off a breaking ball.
You know, with the right left situation for the Reds, you know, at this part of the order, it's interesting that Villanueva sat down and DeFelice got up. Because at DeFelice, I would rather, if Villanueva was up, you'd probably see him for Phillips, and he's very capable of getting lefties out.
Phillips in the air to left center. This is playable for Cameron. And a big out for Mitch Stetter, retiring Brandon Phillips for the first out of the inning.
And now he can wear for that left-hander. Although the Reds are going to go to the bench. Hey, for just $36, get 1 Lowe's infield ticket to one of 8 Brewers games and a $25 Potawatomi Bingo Casino Restaurant gift card. You have to be 21 or older to eat in the restaurants. For details, call 902-4000 or go to brewers.com/Potawatomi.
All right, Stetter with 1 away here. He got the final out of the 6th inning. Matter of fact, got the final 2 outs of the 6th. And it'll be 1 complete inning for Stetter. Maka will make the call to DeFelice as the Reds announce Johnny Gomes as their pinch hitter. So a pitching change here, top of the 7th. 5-2, the Brewers
last month and a half. And during that time, he said he'll spend some time at his Florida home before returning to Milwaukee to rehab. And he says he can't wait until that part because he can be around the team. So Ricky Weeks handling things like a true professional, as he is in really good spirits, guys.
All right, Telly, thanks for that update. And good to see Ricky around the ballpark today. And it will be good to have Ricky back with the team, although he can't play, just to be a part of it. Mark DeFelice is on to work with one out, facing Johnny Gomes. Opponent's batting average impressive for DeFelice at 190. Against right-handed hitters, a 158 batting average against DeFelice. That's how good he has been this year for the Brewers.
And nothing but right-handers in this part of the lineup for Cincinnati. On the bench, Wilkin Castillo, the only reserve that can bat right-handed, or I should say left-handed. He's a switch hitter.
DeFelice with that cut fastball that has changed his career, a pitch he learned in the Mexican League in 2005. He was on his way out of organized baseball until he learned that pitch. Matter of fact, as he throws that one away, and Bruce is going to end up at second base. It's going to be another error on the Brewers. Bruce reached first base on an error by Fielder, and now to second on a throwing error from DeFelice.
I think DeFelice surprised Prince. It'll probably be an error on the pitcher. They throw a little bit up the right field side of the bag. Prince had to reach around Bruce. I don't think Bruce was going to steal. He wasn't going anywhere. Not sure why DeFelice decided to make a throw.
So the third error by the Brewers. Bruce now in scoring position. And Gomes takes strike two. Second time this year the Brewers have committed 3 errors in a game. Last time they did it on the 18th of May against St. Louis. A game the Brewers won 8-4.
That's not going to happen very often. You make that many errors and win. Going to have to do it again today.
Ball and 2 strikes on Johnny Gomes. Didn't chase the cut fastball, and it's 2-2. In 21 appearances this year, DeFelice has not allowed a run in 18 of them. Three and two. DeFelice trying to prevent the tying run from coming to the plate. Full count to Gomes. Got him. Down he goes. Gomes is rung up by the home plate umpire, Jim Wolf. He didn't need to ask. Gomes is asking why he didn't ask the first base umpire. Wolf said, I had it all the way.
Well, Johnny Gomes asking Jim Wolf, was it a called strike or was it on the swing? It was on the swing because the pitch was off the plate. I would imagine Gomes wondering why. He just asked for help. I mean, it's tough to watch the baseball and my bat all at the same time. It wasn't over the plate, but it looked as though Gomes went. Good call.
So 2 outs. Still a runner at second. And here is Hernandez. There's that cut fastball.
That's got to be a tough pitch in these shadows. I mean, you really can't pick up any spin that tells you it's a cutter. It's all about finger pressure. And in these shadows, it makes it even more tough.
Just almost a miracle that DeFelice able to pick it up, this pitch, and learn it so fast. Said it felt natural from the first time he threw it. A bouncer. Nice play. DeFelice flips to fielder for the out. The inning is over. And the Brewers wiggle off another jam. Another runner left on for the Reds. Still
Milwaukee 5, Cincinnati 2, and the Birds picking up their first 3 runs playing small ball. It was power ball yesterday, but doing a real nice job of taking where the pitch was in those first 2 innings, David.
Right, that's right, and they've done a great job at this, as we're going to see right here that JJ's running on the plate, opens up a hole for Ryan Braun, base hit. That's the kind of ball that you need to play. Earlier now, sacrifice bunt by Giovanni, advances Kendall. Now he goes to third on a base hit. And JJ hits a sacrifice fly to drive him in. Well executed. And that's talking about executing and how you score runs.
You get the feeling it'd be nice for the Brewers to pick up 1, maybe 2 more. A 5-2 lead right now as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. As we turn it back over to Brian and Bill.
All right, Craig, thanks a lot. And that being said, there is a significant group of fans here that would like this to stay as a 3-run game until the 9th.
That's right, it's Trevor Hoffman bobblehead day. Like to see him come in. Personally, if I could be selfish, I'd like to see the Brewers put up a nice 5 spot here. Not to disappoint anybody here today.
Yeah, you know, it's all part of the show. We'll see. Hardy, big cut and a massive slider. Huge crowd today, Rock, again. 44,594. The largest crowd of the homestand, the 12th sellout, and the Brewers are going to finish this homestand with 3 consecutive sellouts here at Miller Park.
Yep, standing room only once again. Seating capacity here, I thought, was 42.5. I think that's what it is, isn't it?
Yep, and for the last 2 games, crowds of over 44,000. In the opener of this series, it was 42,000. Oh, it's great fun at the ballpark. Coming out and seeing crowds like this. The place to be in Milwaukee right now. Full count to Hardy. JJ is hitless today. He's 0 for 1 officially in 3 plate appearances. As a walk and a sacrifice fly. Little squibber. Massett plays it, and a good strong throw to first. And Hardy is retired. And 1 away here in the 7th. Leads us to our Ho Chunk Gaming text the broadcast booth. Frank in East Troy wants to know, is it better to have 11 or 12 pitchers on your roster, or in Dusty Baker's case, 13 pitchers on his roster?
I mean, there's really no right answer to that. I mean, it's all down to what you need, what kind of arms you have out in that bullpen, how many of your guys can go multiple innings, how your starting rotation is. Brewers had 14 pitchers on their roster. Remember last year when Ben Sheets was down? They didn't put him on the disabled list, but 14 pitchers. That really straps your bench. Back in the old days, back when I played, 10 pitchers on a pitching staff. How did they do it?
Get through it. It's one thing in the American League. The National League presents different kind of challenges as well.
Remember one year, I was with the Brewers. They decided to go with 11 pitchers. Boy, did that create a stir.
11, huh? Taking money out of the pocket of a position player.
A couple of times I thought it was going to be me.
Well, you know, Schroeder hasn't played in a couple of weeks.
Unless he can pitch.
Can we get by with one catcher?
Get rid of him.
In the American League, you can afford to have 12 or 13 pitchers because you don't need to make as many changes with your personnel, position player wise.
No double switches. You don't pinch hit for the pitcher, obviously, and sometimes as a bench player in the American League, you might go a week without sniffing the field. You know, defense, offense, pinch runner, nothing. Not in the National League. Pretty good chance you're going to be in there in some capacity every day as a part-time player.
Case in point today with Billy Hall. Gamble got the start at third, but Ken Maka able to pull a double switch and put Hall into the game when he made a pitching change.
A pretty good fastball by Massive. He's got pretty good movement on it. Matt Gamble's got to feel good about his day today.
Gamble 2 for 2 with an RBI before he was lifted in the double switch. Two for 3 for Gamble. Check that. And Braun chases one. So Ryan down on strikes. And 2 gone here in the 7th inning.
Hey, Wisconsin, let Applebee's take you out to a game this year until June 13th. Buy a select entree and get a voucher for a free Brewers ticket. Satisfy your hunger and your appetite for baseball only at Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
Prince Fielder with 2 away. Fielder looking for his first hit of the game. 0 for 2 with a walk. He scored on the Cameron 2-run homer in the 3rd. Fielder was up with 2 on in the 1st inning and flew out. Hasn't been at bat with anybody on base since. Raul Ibanez without a run batted in today, so Fielder still atop the National League in RBIs. 48 ribbies for Fielder. Talked about Fielder in the Player of the Month And the possibility that he could win that award in the National League for his tremendous May. It's probably a 2-horse race, Ibanez and Fielder.
Hey, before today, Prince Fielder atop the National League statistics in RBIs per at bat. An RBI for just a little over 3.5 at bats. That's pretty good.
And that's what taking a lot of walks will do as well. Not official at bats. Fielder and Ibanez average about the same. Ibanez 1 more home run. Prince with 2 more runs batted in.
I guess flip a coin, huh?
Oh, it's Fielder in a landslide, Rock.
For us, of course.
Fielder down on strikes. Fires his helmet, and the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down. We're on our way to the 8th. Marlins. 5:30 airtime every single day, and we're on Fox Sports Wisconsin, so you can mark it down all week. And then the Brewers head to Atlanta, 3-game series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, before returning home to face the Rockies and the White Sox next week. DeFelice on for his 2nd inning of work. DeFelice got the final 2 outs of the 7th inning, a strikeout and a ground out. At the bottom of the Cincinnati order, Gonzalez, Hannigan, and then the pitcher spot due up. That's a fair ball and a strong throw from Billy Hall. That was an excellent play from the Brewers' third baseman.
Yeah, he's been playing a very good third base. Saved a couple of runs in last night's ball game. And making a nice play on that one. That was a tougher play than it looked. It's all about the throwing arm on a play like that. Grabbing the ground ball, not the issue, but flat-footed Billy Hall with more than enough arm to make that play. That's a dandy.
And the little crow hop before he caught the baseball put him in a perfect throwing position. So 1 away here in the 8th. And it's Cincinnati's catcher Ryan Hannigan. Hannigan doubled his last time up. That was against Gallardo. Giovanni Gallardo started and went 5 1/3, and it's Giovanni who is in the winner's seat right now.
Really is hard to believe Cincinnati's only got 2 runs on the board. They've had a man in scoring position in every inning except the first. 3 for 16 in at bats with a man in scoring position. 11 strikeouts for the Brewers. 8 of them have come with a man at least at second base.
Hannigan pops it up. Easy play for Hart. And DeFelice keeps it going here. 2 up, 2 down. Schedule coming up for the Brewers. The 4 games in Florida, and then the 3 in Atlanta. Then an off day Monday. The Rockies and the White Sox on the next homestand, and then it's back to interleague play in American League ballparks with the designated hitter in effect.
Off day on Monday, huh? I didn't realize that.
Off day on Monday the 8th and an off day on the 18th, Rock.
Wow.
Pencil it in.
Got to make some plans.
That'll be a well-timed off day after a 7-day, 7-game road trip for the Brewers. Adam Rosales pinch hitting with 2 outs. The Brewers will have Cameron, a pinch hitter, and Corey Hart due up in the bottom of the 8th. Last night, the Brewer bullpen went 5 scoreless innings. McClung, Stetter, and Villanueva to finish the game in a 9-5 Brewer win. Rosales pops it up. This is playable. Kendall makes the call. And Mark DeFelice, 5 up, 5 down, an inning and 2/3. Perfect. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Shows you that Gallardo in line for the win, went 5 1/3, struck out 9 today. Cincinnati has left 10 runners on base, and the Brewer bullpen continues to get the job done. DeFelice, 5 batters faced, 5 batters retired, and an inning and 2/3 for DeFelice. Stetter got the first out of the 7th as well. So here's David Weathers, bottom of the 8th, facing Cameron to start it.
It's always a good sign. We don't see Weathers or Francisco Cordero until the last game of a series. Cordero has yet to make an appearance, the Reds closer.
Cordero is among league leaders in saves. Trevor Hoffman preparing for the 9th. What is right now a save situation. Heath Bell continues to set the pace for saves in the National League. He has 14. Coco has 13. He's 13 for 13. And then Hoffman is 12 for 12. Cameron with 2 hits today, 2 for 3, driven in 3. And down he goes. Weathers strikes him out.
Well, David Weathers continues to have impeccable control. Very rarely is going to come in for a strike. Gets everything away. Fastball, slider, and a very good changeup. That time able to catch the outside corner with some late movement.
Pitcher spot coming up, and instead of DeFelice, Maka goes to the bench. It'll be Frank Catalanato. DeFelice inning and 2/3 today. He and Stetter combining so far. Catalanato trying to get it going with 1 away. In the air to left, playable. And it's caught by Dickerson, out number 2. Here comes Corey Hart at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Corey 1 for 3 today. Had a single in the 3rd inning. 3-hit game yesterday, and certainly a guy to watch on the upcoming road trip. Ken Marcus feeling like Corey's about to break out of it. He has seen some things in his approach and his swing here lately that he likes. So we'll see if the manager is on it. He certainly was on it yesterday. By the way, Maka said that before yesterday's game. It's easy to say that after a guy gets 3 hits.
Right.
But that was in his pregame meeting with the media before the game yesterday.
And if he was asked after the game, he wouldn't have said it.
Yeah, because then that'd make you a front runner. Nice play, Gonzalez. And the inning is over, and we are set up for Trevor time. Hoffman making Miller Park in front of a sellout crowd on Trevor Hoffman bobblehead day. Hoffman making a bid at save number 13. His 12th save came on Friday night against these Reds.
And it's all about impeccable control for Trevor Hoffman. Has not walked the batter, struck out 11 in 14 innings of work. 12 for 12 in save opportunities and has not allowed a run.
Hoffman will face the top of the order. A save today for Trevor, and he would go into a tie for second place in the league. Heath Bell, his former setup man in San Diego, is the league leader right now. Chris Dickerson leads off. Trevor misses upstairs. Bell with 14 saves on the year. Francisco Rodriguez, Francisco Cordero both have 13. And there are 3 closers with 12 in the National League. Chad Qualls, Ryan Franklin, and Trevor Hoffman. Ball and a strike. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, that's what makes him so tough. I mean, he's got that fastball anywhere from mid-80s to upper 80s. As you see where Trevor stands on the all-time games pitched lead report. Good quality strikes with a fastball, and then he always has that changeup in his hip pocket.
Dickerson able to lay off the changeup. That's the spot that normally gets Hoffman strikeouts. So a good take by Dickerson. Just missed. Close pitch. Dickerson either has an incredible eye or he got away with one.
Well, he's very lucky. It looked like it might have been off the outside corner. Good call by Jim Wolf. It's tempting, though, to ring him up, though, isn't it, if you're an umpire in this ballpark today?
3-2. Down he goes. Hoffman strikes him out with a fastball. And one gone here in the 9th inning.
It's amazing. At 86 miles an hour, blows it right by him up in the zone. Outer half. Every time you face Hoffman, in the back of your mind, you're thinking changeup, and all of a sudden that mid-80s fastball gets on you quickly. You never really go up there looking fastball.
Jerry Hairston for the Reds. Strike. Fastball from Trevor. Ball and a strike on Hairston. Hoffman was teammates with Jerry's brother Scott in San Diego. Says he feels like a rookie again here in Milwaukee after 16 years closing games for the Padres. Everything's new to him. All of his old jokes still work.
And he's got a ton of them.
His practical jokes. He's all business right now, though. Three balls and a strike. Hoffman able to get back in the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Throw him a changeup. Hairston out in front of it. He's dangerous at any count. That's what makes him who he is. He's almost as effective down in the count as he is ahead of the count.
Guys get anxious, over aggressive, and he uses that to his advantage.
3-2. The crowd wants a strikeout. They're already on their feet. Normally they wait for 2 outs. Oh, narrow miss. Hairston draws the walk. So Hoffman allows a base runner with 1 away.
Well, first walk of the season issued by Trevor Hoffman. But he doesn't miss by much, does he?
Hoffman trying to save it for Gallardo. Giovanni in line for his 5th win of the year. On the corner, a strike to Bruce. Bruce was the final out on Friday night. Hoffman's 12th save. Hoffman struck him out with a couple of change-ups at the end of the at-bat. And there is that change-up, and Bruce down to the count 0-2.
And because that he looked so bad on those change-ups, you wonder why Bruce took that first fastball right down the middle. First pitch fastball for a strike right down the middle, then a changeup that Bruce is way out in front.
Oh, 0-2 the count. Runner at first. And down he goes. Jay Bruce gone on strikes. Hoffman went right back to the bucket. And out number 2 is strikeout number 2 for Trevor Hoffman.
And that one barely registering on the speed gun right there. First pitch fastball down the middle, changeup, and then took something off the changeup that time.
And more importantly, it keeps the tying run in the on-deck circle. A Sunday sweep. The Brewers are an out away here at Miller Park. The Brewers will not hold Hairston on, and he takes off immediately, and Phillips takes a ball. Will not be a stolen base. Defensive indifference is the call. Phillips actually has good numbers against Hoffman in his career. A couple of hits and 6 tries. Phillips has homered today and has 2 hits, 2 for 3 at the plate. Hit a long home run against Gallardo in the 5th. Did he go? Yes, he did, as Hoffman breaks out the slider on Brandon Phillips, which has been a new pitch for Hoffman this season. And it has been very effective against right-handers. He's got him set up. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Skips to the screen. Kendall retrieves it. Hairston to third base on a wild pitch.
That's where you want the changeup, though, with 2 strikes. Got to get it down in the zone. Most of the time, you're going to see Jason be able to block that pitch.
The bullpen has been the story in this series against the Reds. Can Hoffman finish it off? 2-2 on Phillips. Phillips laid off the same pitch that he chased a moment ago, and it's 3-2.
Almost looked like a slider. couple of sliders back to back by Trevor. That's a pitch that Jason's got him throwing a little bit more.
So now you start playing the thinking game here.
Well, the last thing you want to do is walk Phillips to bring the tying run to the plate. You might see a fastball here.
Phillips pops it up, and that one is headed for the seats.
And it was a fastball. Trevor realizes that a home run here, although it's not the best thing in the world, it's not going to beat you. If you give up a walk and then a home run, that's the thing you want to avoid. So he throws his high percentage strike.
Two balls, two strikes. Hoffman a 3-run lead to work with. And another fastball, and Phillips fouls it away.
Just that element of doubt with Trevor Hoffman, what you're going to get. Able to sneak that 86-mile-per-hour fastball by these hitters. Phillips just barely able to stay alive.
Pitch number 23 coming for Hoffman. Got him. Change up from Trevor. And the ball game is over as Trevor Hoffman picks up his 13th consecutive save here as a Brewer. And career save number 567 for Hoffman. Makes a winner out of Giovanni Gallardo, who goes to 5-2.